I preach out loud. I know. I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to make it right. Ooh, I ain't mean to come on here shirtless. Subscription $9.99 for those that's wondering, But long story short, as I was trying to get everything all together, I'm like, why is there music playing downstairs? The dogs come running upstairs. Long story short, we have a sound bar. A nice sound bar downstairs. A loud sound bar downstairs. And to put it frank, the dogs just absolutely freaked out. They heard the intro and they were like, "Oh man, my boy's on live. We gotta come up here. We gotta hear what all the hype. We gotta see what all the hype is about." And so, of course, I had the dogs come in here, and I scared them. I scared the absolute mess out of them. So I apologize. But hello all and welcome. Hold on, let me do that. Hello all and welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Jackson Jr. And man, we are getting into it. It's been a minute, of course, since I've been on live, and I could go on and talk about it, but you know what? Let's talk about it. Your boy was struggling. Your boy was struggling mightily. I had to pretty much take a minor step back, mainly because life just wasn't going the way nature has intended it to, if you know what I'm saying. Like it just was a whole big old mess. And so now I'm finally back at it again, and we're gonna have a whole lot of fun today. For those that didn't know, we slid on to Circle of Debate, not on live with them, but we were in the chat, and we got tickets to WrestlePalooza. Me, Devin, and of course the older sister will be going to WrestlePalooza, and we are going to have so much fun. I'm ready. I am 100% ready to get this going because, look, any type of wrestling event that you're able to go to is always fun. But Brock Lesnar, John Cena, the last time I was actually at a WWE event, they told me that was going to be the last time I saw John Cena. And now look at this. And now look at how life is changing. How the world, is turning. Because now we're seeing John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. John Cena came out at the Royal Rumble in Indy. Me and Deborah were there. We saw, of course, John Cena say the last time is now. You're a liar. You're a liar, Jonathan. It's just like you're a liar. And so honestly, I am stoked, ecstatic to see how this is going to pan out, at least going into Indy and the whole 9 yards. Of course, it's a trip. There's a whole trip that we're having planned here. So honestly, it's gonna be a whole lot of fun. I can't wait. One man that we're not gonna see. I hope that played. I really hope that, because I can't even hear it. Oh yeah, I don't got my headphones. Duh. I'm just like, well, how come I can't hear this? I'm like, there's nothing going inside. There's nothing going in my ears. Now it's all making sense. Let me put the headphones on, because as I start this all discombobulated and an awful, like, coming back to where we were, and look, there's too much wrestling going on. Of course, we have AEW All Out over the weekend as well, and Tony Khan, he ain't doing a lot of fighting. There was a point in time when Tony Khan was like, I'm not gonna take this shit. It's like, I'm not gonna take this shit at all. He's taking a lot of it. You're taking a lot of it, brother. You are you're taking the brunt, of all of this, and you got to eat it. That's something that he asked to eat there, because, brother, you told everybody you weren't going to get bullied by WWE. This isn't going to be what you guys think it is. I'm much smarter than a lot of these promoters, back in the day, and yet he hasn't shown us that. Talking to Tony Khan. Tony Khan hasn't shown us that not yet. I don't think he showed us that at all. And so that's what I think is one of my biggest problems in going through and watching Tony Khan sit here and talk about how great AEW is. And I don't usually talk, like I said, if you really care about ratings, then you must work for AEW. Then you must work for WWE. If you don't, then there's no reason to care. Let me see if I can turn this speaker on here. This speaker ain't coming on for me, so I can't listen to anything. Let me see here. Okay. That's good. We got your parent. I'm sorry that you have to see this live. Connected. I don't know. You're saying you connected, but are you really connected? You are. I was just trying to see. I was just trying to. I didn't know if it was connected or not. I just had to double check. Oh yeah, we're back in business now. We are back in business now. We are back in business now. But look, outside of all that, hey, I still got a dog here. Hello, you. No, don't run away from me. This is the newest one. Her name's Peach. Just throw her nothing to wrap her around. Yeah, her name's Peach. She's the newest one in the family. Long story short, she's my brother's. And since my brother slid back to chill with the family, we got two dogs here. But outside of all that, just getting back into wrestling, Tony Khan has pissed me off in more ways than one. Like, brother, let's just go back and look at AEW match, like in just terms of just the recent AEW Dynamite main events, and just go through like what the hell is going on here, because it really bothers me that we have to go through wrestling database.com. It's just sad that we have to go through and watch AEW Dynamite. This man comes out and tells us how great it's going to be, how amazing AEW Dynamite is going to be. We've had this instance twice. I was in Chicago and I was in Arizona where I went to AEW Dynamite, and he swore up and down that these are going to be the best, the greatest of the greatest AEW Dynamites that you've ever seen in your life. And I'm sorry, it just wasn't true. You know, it just wasn't true. I haven't been to one yet. You know, it's just like I haven't gotten the chance to experience an amazing AEW Dynamite. I just haven't. I've had fun. I've had fun going to the AEW Dynamite event. Honestly, it's better to go than watching it on TV, I say. But that's just me being, of course, a little me being a jerk. You know, I was like, that's just me kind of being a jerk in the situation. But even then, just looking at show more events here. Let me share my screen so you guys can see what I'm seeing here, because I'm going through all of the Dynamite events, or at least looking at the data itself, going through the Dynamite events, seeing what we have here. Like, of course, this is last week. Going into last week, 7 days ago, Dynamite would have been the 12th. Friday Night SmackDown. I'm like, okay, maybe not. Maybe it was not a 12. Let me keep going down. AEW Dynamite, it was the 10th. I'm over here trying to go 7 days past, and it's actually over here. So going into the main event, it's just something I'm really not, because I remember Adam Page and Josh Alexander, they started off the match. Ricochet defeated Shelton Benjamin. Okay, that's cool. But a $500,000 gauntlet match. The Claudio Castagnoli, Jon Moxley, Willa Yuta, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson defeated pretty much the Ops and Brodito. I could care less. You know, it's just like I could care less in that instance if we're going to keep going down. You know, matter of fact, let me just scoot it back a little bit. Let's go back to last week. You know, if we can look back at last week's, because this is just absolutely annoying to just go through AEW Dynamite and see like there's nothing great happening. Like, you're not really coming in here and driving and holding my interest. The AEW Dynamite makes it so hard for me to stick all the way up to the main event. It's absolutely impossible. Now, of course, September to Remember, they mixed in AEW Dynamite with a Collision. So that's something I'm not going to be too crazy. I'm not going to go too crazy over, because I was actually confused when Tony Storm spit a promo, and then of course we got Thekla taking on Queen Aminata, which is cool. Yeah, like, no problem with it at all. No problem with it at all. But you're watching AEW Dynamite, the Unified Title Tournament semifinals, and I don't got no problem with Beast Mortos and Dorado at all. But man, like, this is what you're ending your show with. You have Jon Moxley taking on Roderick Strong, 12 minutes. Okay, that's cool. You have Bobby Lashley, your second match, but this is what you're ending your AEW Dynamite on. if you go back and look at all the AEW Dynamites and the main events to itself, and I'm gonna do a better job. I'm gonna actually come up next week and have them all wrapped up, probably in a couple days. I have them all set up for you guys, but excuse me, it's just absolutely annoying that AEW Dynamite is just struggling to hold interest, and it's not just me, And I said, you got to be you have to work for the company to be obsessed, to be crazed, or even angry at ratings. But you can't deny that ratings are still plummeting, and I don't care. They can have 2 viewerships. They can have pretty much 5 viewers every week, and I'm gonna be one of them. It's like I'm gonna be one of them, honestly. But it's gotten to a point to where it's just like, man, AEW Dynamite song. It's just like I don't even get happy. I don't even get ecstatic, when the intro plays. I'll actually talk to Kayla and Justin when they were on live for AEW Dynamite on Circle of Debate. By the way, go tune into them. They're a whole lot of fun. Circle of Debate themselves are just an amazing channel. And they're open to everybody, and they're open for anyone and everyone. They love wrestling, and they love you too. And I'm gonna be honest with that. It's like they are genuine human beings. But I'm struggling to be a Hangman Page fan. This man has the title. He's going up against Kyle Fletcher. I don't see Kyle Fletcher winning this. It's just like, why would he? Why would Kyle Fletcher win this right now? It's unnecessary. Mercedes Moné is just destroying everybody. Mercedes Moné is beating absolutely everybody. There's no stopping Mercedes Moné. That's even more annoying in itself. So, what the hell are we doing here, Tony? Jon Moxley, he's an instant channel changer. You see that man on TV? Get that man out of here. Boop! I'm out. I'm gone. Everything Jon Moxley does, everything Jon Moxley stands for is stupid. Stupid. I'm not talking about the person himself, just character-wise. Stupid. Not entertaining, not interesting. And I'm speaking based off of my opinion, of course. If you feel like this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, then sure, you're okay with it. You're okay with what Tony Khan is doing here. The Tony Khan always swears that things are always on the up and up. Things are always looking good. No, they're looking good because you're the booker. You are building AEW in your image. And let's just be honest here. Tony Khan is giving off Vince McMahon vibes. For those that were WWE fans maybe 5-6 years ago, you seen the Miz getting eaten up by zombies. You saw the golden egg. You saw Brock Lesnar destroy Big E and Kofi Kingston to end both their reigns in under 10 to 20 seconds. Vince McMahon was horrendous. We saw horrendous Monday Night Raws. We saw horrendous Friday Night SmackDowns. Our only saving grace was NXT. Do you remember when all there was to look forward to was NXT? Oh, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes. Oh, okay, sure. Yes. This is fresh. This is new. We love this. What the, then you watch Raw, and then you watch SmackDown, and then it's a bunch of bull jive, eye for an eye matches. What the hell is this? What are we doing here? It's just like, and Vince McMahon was booking for himself. He was booking in terms of what was best for the company and the business route. Sure, with the Miz going to be eaten by zombies, okay, we got the promo out of that. That's fine. But damn, Vince McMahon was booking for absolutely nobody because nobody was interested in that. Nobody cared about what was going on, and it was rough. It was rough watching Raw. It was rough watching SmackDown. There was a point in time where I was only watching pay-per-views, PLEs, once they transitioned over. There was only a point in time I couldn't watch Raw. I couldn't watch SmackDown because it sucked. It drove you away. It was brutal. Don't even get me started on Aaliyah. But then, of course, you get to AEW Dynamite. If you have that same opinion, you're a hater. You have that same opinion. No, I feel the exact same. I feel the exact same way I felt when Vince McMahon was running the ship in WWE. I feel the same way that what Tony Khan is doing in terms of just the ideology of what's going on. I think Tony Khan is just like, hey, I'm booking for me. I'm booking for the fans that are pretty much are diehard that's going to stay here and eat everything up that I give them. And if you don't like it, you're just a hater. You just don't belong. You just don't belong here, and you're driving people away. You're tables and thumbtacks, my brother. Like tables and thumbtacks. Come on now, bro. Like I love me some MJF. I love me some Mark Briscoe. No problem with the two at all. This is a match that MJF needs to be in. This isn't a match that Mark Briscoe needs to be in. And I'm not saying, oh, well, Isaiah, you just hate hardcore death matches. I do think there's a time and a place for it. Not every freaking week, Tony. Not every freaking week do we have to have some extreme garbage BS. And I'm sounding like Devin. I'm sorry. I got to steal Devin's gimmick here because it's true. It's true. I just saw Thekla and Queen Aminata try to kill themselves. And then the very next week, we're going to see the same thing with MJF. We're going to see this. And then Thekla has a match on Saturday, over the weekend with AEW All Out. Like, let's be real here. This lady has a whole match to fight. But yes, she has to fight in some extreme hardcore match with Queen Aminata. That's unnecessary. 4-way AEW Women's Championship match. Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Thekla on Saturday, my brother. But no, she has to go to the extreme on Wednesday in a brutal match in itself. That's not smart. That's not smart at all, Tony. And who are you booking this for? Who are you booking this for, Tony? I can answer that. You're booking for the diehards, the people that aren't going to leave at all. Tony Khan is booking AEW Dynamite, is booking AEW Collision for the fans that don't want, that is going to stay no matter what. He's booking AEW Dynamite. He's booking Collision for the fans that aren't going to go anywhere. Same with WWE 4 or 5 years ago when Vince McMahon was running ship. Vince McMahon, look, WWE's established. Yeah, AEW was growing. AEW was on a solid run, and then CM Punk came through. Like, I was like, AEW's gonna take over. Like, I was team AEW for a long stretch, and then of course Vince McMahon went through his situations, and then we got Triple H, and then of course things started looking a whole lot better. We started seeing storylines, and we started seeing fun wrestling. On top of that, we started seeing some excitement. Some things were exhilarating because the only thing that was going on for the WWE was Roman Reigns and the bloodline. That's all we cared about for a while, for a long while. There was nothing else going on. And so I hate this whole thing, it can't, like the narrative of just, oh, well, AEW, Tony Khan is just doing a great job. Tony Khan is booking for the sickos. Yeah, those sickos are going to run you out of business. No, they're not going to run you out of business. You have too much money for that. Tony Khan definitely has FU money. If Tony Khan wants to do this to 0 viewers, he'll do it. He'll do it. He will 100% do it. And that's the crazy part about this whole thing. You're not here to compete. Like, Tony Khan just lied to our faces, bro. You lied to I'm not going to take this fucking shit. You lied. And that's just annoying in itself. Tony Khan pissed me off. You did all this talk about competition. You did all this talk about AEW is going to break barriers and it's just the same extreme matches every week, the same old crap, the same old stuff. And the only people that are entertained with it are the same people that are going to come back every week, that are drinking the AEW Kool-Aid. And that's no disrespect to them, because AEW is a really, really great product. I just want them to do so much better, because they can do so much better, and they're driving fans like me away because they do the same old thing, same old unnecessary main events, same old irrelevant main events. There's no reason for you to have Jon Moxley, for you to have Bobby Lashley, Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay, and none of them are in the main event. You're giving us, Mina Shirakawa, which no disrespect to Mina Shirakawa, but it's like, come on now. There's no story invested in your main event at all whatsoever. Your AEW Dynamite's in flat, and it's not. You're seeing the resemblance. And Tony Khan is definitely Vince McMahon-esque. When it's coming to all this, Vince McMahon was booking, and he didn't give a damn. He didn't give a damn what the fans think. He didn't give a damn what the audience thought. Vince McMahon was going to book it regardless. You were sick of seeing Roman? You were still, guess what? You're going to see Roman even more, twice as much. You were sick of seeing Austin Theory? You were going to see Austin Theory twice as much. You didn't want to see Goldberg? You didn't want to see Brock Lesnar. You know, it's just like Vince McMahon was doing he didn't care. He didn't care because he was going to book it the way he wanted to. And you were going to stay because where else were you going to get your wrestling at that point in time? You know, and then when AEW started getting hot, okay, let's start kicking things into gear now. It got slightly better, but it didn't get all the way better until Vince McMahon got out of there. Tony Khan, you're doing the exact same thing. You're not only booking for yourself, but you're booking for the same people that's going to tell you the same thing and not give you any type of pushback in this situation. And you're seeing your pushback. You're seeing your pushback when your ratings go from 800,000 to 700,000. Now, for the past couple of weeks, you're sitting at a 500,000 in viewership. And I'm not saying that to say, oh, well, viewership, you know, is a huge. No. It's just telling you it's just showing you the interest level in your show, the interest level in your brand. And the fact that it just keeps getting depleted, and it just keeps depleting. It keeps depleting. It says a whole lot. You're running your audience away. God damn it, man. Just show us that, number one, that you're going to fight against WWE. You know, show us that there's going to be a little bit of fight here. You know, you starting off AEW All Out early. Like I said, I really don't have a problem with that because AEW has long pay-per-views. So if you want to go a little earlier, go ahead. You know, it's not nothing like, oh, he's scared of WWE. He's going to move. No, nobody wants to stay up till 11, 12 o'clock in the morning, you know, to watch AEW All Out. And if you do, you're a sicko. He's the sickos that you're talking about. But no, we're not sitting here and drinking the AEW Kool-Aid thinking, oh, everything's okay. There's no problem with it at all. You know, like we're going to sit here and watch it. We're going to continue to watch it because we're diehards and we love pro wrestling, which is just straight garbage. It's 100% straight garbage. And so that's my take on the whole. I just had to get that off my chest because it was getting on my last nerve. Tony Khan, you're definitely looking like the Vince McMahon of old. Vince McMahon was doing just random stuff, and we just had to eat it because there was nothing else we were going to watch at the time. And if you were a diehard WWE fan, where else were you going to get your wrestling? Where else were you going to get your wrestling? Now, obviously, there is New Japan Pro. I'm not trying to disrespect any other promotions. I'm talking about on a larger scale in North America. Where else were you going to get your wrestling that extravagant and that big of a name? And then, of course, AEW, they started getting hot. They started getting a whole lot better. Okay, we have an alternative. We have something we can watch. And now it's just the same old. Useless main events, storylines that have just either run its course or gone stale, factions that are going absolutely nowhere. Hey, Don Callis, how you doing? You know, it's just like, it's bullshit. It's bull. So I had to get it off my chest. I had to get that off my chest. Thank you, Tony Khan. Outside of that, AEW All Out. We got predictions for AEW All Out. Here, of course, taking place Saturday, September 20th, 3 o'clock p.m. Of course, you can watch it on HBO Max there. No, I'm not getting paid for this. I guess in the pre-show, you're going to see Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale taking on Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. And look, just tag me under the win for Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa. Harley Cameron, of course, we seen her with the mask. Harley Cameron is a tough cookie. I'll give her that. A tough individual. For her to come into wrestling, get her nose broken, her face pretty much bloody twice, and her, there's no quitting her whatsoever, still continuing to fight on, continuing the match itself, and staying professional. You got to give her a whole lot of credit for that. That's something I want to give her a whole lot of love for. You got the Ops, Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs taking on the Workhorsemen, and of course Anthony Henry and JD Drake. First off, this is the Ops match to win. I don't even know why it's even. There's nothing against the Workhorsemen. These guys, of course, veterans in their own right, but come on now, like Samoa Joe's coming back. Powerhouse Hobbs is Powerhouse Hobbs, but they're not doing nothing with him anyway. You know, the Ops pretty much saved him. You know, in this situation, it's as weird as that sounds. You know, the Ops saved Powerhouse Hobbs, you know, from going into obscurity. So yeah, give me the Ops in that one. Daniel Garcia taking on Shibata. And of course, Daniel Garcia, he's with the Death Riders now. He's, of course, living life on the edge. And look, this is just trying to find some way to show some interest, make us give some type of interest, you know, in Daniel Garcia, which Daniel Garcia is cold. He's a really good wrestler. But man, we've been teasing Daniel Garcia turning heel for what, about a year or two now, and now it's finally, on his forefront. Now it's finally on his head. I don't really care. Daniel Garcia, I think, has to win this. You would think Daniel Garcia is going to win this, mainly because Shibata does gain a lot from going over Daniel Garcia. But what are you doing with Shibata? What are you doing with Shibata moving forward? There's a future here for Daniel Garcia and what you're going to do with him and the Death Riders. Daniel Garcia for the win. Of course, with them being in Canada, you have Cope and Christian, or Christian and Cope, however you want to say, taking on FTR. And look, FTR is here mainly because, look, they need to get this FTR Hurt Syndicate rivalry started. This has to happen. This needs to happen. The Hurt Syndicate, no disrespect to them, they're doing some solid work, even though they didn't want to drop the belts a couple weeks ago. And that was a whole stir. I know that was a whole lot of talk in the pretty much a lot of backstage segments. But even then, I didn't even get into that either. That was one thing. That was one situation I didn't even touch on, because a lot of people were still giving praise to the Hurt Syndicate, for trying to play hardball and doing their own thing. But you're still going up against the Gates of Agony. You're still having your back and forth with the Gates of Agony, a team that you can drop the title to. But we missed a golden opportunity of getting the Hurt Syndicate taking on FTR to actually settle, to actually figure out who's the best tag team in AEW. We'll never figure that out. We're not going to figure that out for a while, I guess. But Adam Copeland and Christian, of course, they need a great match. And what better team to do it than FTR? Which is why I don't think FTR is winning this match. I don't know why it just feels like AEW just sucked the soul out of FTR. FTR were belt collectors just a year or two ago. They were the big man around campus. Nobody could touch FTR in a tag team division. Man, they just completely disappeared, just completely withered away. Now they beefing with us. Now if you go to an AEW event, they're gonna beef with you. They're gonna get in your face to tell you what's wrong with you. Give me Cope and Christian for the win. I don't see them losing in Canada. I just don't see them losing in Canada at all. Of course, you have the 4-way AEW World Tag Team Championship ladder match. Bro Dito, of course, the tag team champions themselves. Brody King and Bandito taking on the Young Bucks, taking on Jet Speed and the Don Callis family. That's Hechicero and Josh Alexander. I would hope that Brody King and Bandito retain. It hasn't been long since they held this title. There'll be no reason for them to be transitional champions this quick. And by the way, even though I love me some Kevin Knight, brother, please get yourself away from this mixed martial art weirdo. If I'm being honest, Speedball Mike Bailey. And there's no disrespect to Speedball. I guess it is disrespect to Speedball Mike Bailey. I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan of Speedball Mike Bailey. He's athletic. Some of the moves he do is pretty fire. But man, I don't know. You're just Kenny Omega with no charisma. Like, if I'm gonna just be honest with you, that man definitely gives me like Kenny Omega vibes. He just has no charisma to him. And that's okay. That can maybe be a hot take. I know that might cause some problems there for a lot of people, but I just don't see Speedball Mike Bailey being the guy here in AEW. I see Kevin Knight being the guy in AEW. I see Takeshita. I'm just naming off guys. I see Takeshita being the guy in AEW. I see so many other people. Hell, Kyle Fletcher. Give that man a chance. He could take the ball and run with it. Because Hangman Page even said, you're gonna be a champion, but you're just not ready yet. Oh, you speaking now. You preaching, brother, because you're right. Kyle Fletcher is definitely a future champion. Just not now. I don't think he's ready now. Eddie Kingston, of course, coming back. Oh, by the way, I got Brody King and Bandito retaining their titles. Please don't let the Young Bucks win. If the Young Bucks win, let me tell y'all something. If the Young Bucks win this ladder match, this will tell me everything I already knew and everything you already knew about AEW Dynamite. And just AEW itself, not even AEW Dynamite, AEW itself. It'll tell you everything you need to know about AEW. Bullshit. It's just unreal. Because you could just go. It's a dick swinging competition. We're just gonna be honest with you here. Like, how it's crazy how the Young Bucks, even though there's zero, like, what's the word? It's an E word. Like, there's no evidence. There it goes. There's no evidence of the Young Bucks being major draws here in AEW Dynamite. In the past year, maybe? Past 2 years? Let's go 2 years. Because in the start, okay, I can give that to them. The Young Bucks are something to look at least for in the start of AEW. Like I said, I've always been an Young Bucks hater. It's just the fact that, look, sometimes I can bite my tongue and say, yeah, that was a good match. Yeah, they actually did really good. That was actually pretty funny. They're actually pretty funny people. You know, I can sometimes give them the props. The past year and a half, 2 years maybe, there's no props given to these guys. No props given to them whatsoever. They're the guys that will do something, and as soon as they realize it doesn't work or people aren't liking it, oh, you guys really fell for that. Oh, that wasn't even our actual plan. You guys actually fell for our trick. You know, you ever seen those people? Like, I used to work with somebody that would tell, like, they would tell me about a sports take. You know, they'll tell me about the Chicago Bears. They'll tell me about Chicago Bulls, and they'll be like, well, what do you think about this? And I'll say, well, I think that Chicago Bulls are just a really, really intense team. They're really hard, really driven, really focused, and they'll be so much better. They'll be so much better if they had, and I'm just, BSing, if they had just like Paul George on the team. And you'll see said person, oh, I was actually leading you to that point. You were leading me? What, brother? What? It's like, you were leading who? It's like, you were leading me to that point. Like, no, you weren't. It's like, it's always those people that's just like, oh, well, you actually fell for my trick because I actually deceived you to begin it. You know, it's just like, brother, no. Just admit you are wrong. Just admit shit just don't work and give it up. You know, it's like, with the Young Bucks, there's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. And there's no excuse for your ratings being down the toilet, especially when you show up on TV. Nobody wants to see you. Nobody wants to see you. Everything that you've done in AEW, at least for the past 3 years, has been ass. Ass. Straight ass. Ass. I'm sorry, I had to do that one more time. Straight ass. But honestly, it's getting annoying. It's getting annoying. It's getting annoying. It's getting annoying. I've had it up to here. I've had it up to here with the Young Bucks. And just to move on, like I said, Brody King and Bandito for the win. I have them retaining the titles. Eddie Kingston taking on Big Bill. The return of Eddie Kingston, which is why I think Eddie Kingston is getting this dub here. No disrespect to Big Bill, but Eddie Kingston needs this win here. I want to see how he looks. I'm pretty sure he hasn't changed a bit, but we haven't seen Eddie Kingston in a long while. So this is something I'm really, really looking forward to see, how he comes in and how he fares with Big Bill. And I don't think this is like a, what do they call it, like a styles clash in terms of them coming in and possibly having a stinker of a match. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I'm going to give this match the benefit of the doubt, and I think I'll be entertained watching Eddie Kingston's return and getting the win over Big Bill. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and of course MVP himself are taking on Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. I don't see Ricochet and the Gates of Agony winning this one. I think the Hurt Syndicate will continue on with their dominance and just move them on to FTR. Just move them on to FTR. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with what's wrong with getting the Hurt Syndicate taking on FTR? That's going to feed the streets right now, brother. That's what we need right now. You want to talk about something that's drawing in interest? That's going to draw in some interest. We're not getting that, and we probably won't get that for a long while. But I do got Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP for the win. I don't see the Hurt Syndicate taking a step back right now. I know MJF has his whole situation that he has going on. So he's, they're walking in their separate ways right now. But MJF is going to be fine. He is going to take on Mark Briscoe. I don't see Mark Briscoe winning against MJF, especially with MJF, of course, still being in title contention. There's still some story there building between him and Hangman Page, even though Hangman Page was at the wedding all happy. It's just like, and that's just me making jokes. But this is something that just doesn't need to be done. Tables and thumbtacks. That's unnecessary. That's a match that's just so unnecessary. It's not doing anything for nobody. I understand this rivalry has taken on a life of its own. MJF has said something so dastardly. Let's have a dog collar match. Let's have a dog collar match. Will you be my Valentine, MJF? When CM Punk came out and said that when they had their dog collar match, that was amazing. How come we're not getting that? We're going to have tables and thumbtacks. Idiotic. A brutal match that, of course, is going to be there. You always got to have that shock value match. That's Tony Khan. So you always got to have that shock value match. That's going to be tables and thumbtacks. MJF and Mark Briscoe. I got MJF for the win. Mercedes Moné versus Riho. I got Mercedes Moné. If Riho wins, there's a huge problem we got going on here. Mercedes Moné is not going to destroy this AEW women's division and then lose to Riho. Because if that happens, then okay, we got even more problems. We got so many more problems, way bigger problems. Then, what we got going on here? Mercedes Moné taking on Riho. I got Mercedes Moné for the win. Come on now, Riho is not it. Riho is not it at all. We have the 3-way unified championship match. You guys, Okada taking on Takeshita, and of course, Mascara Dorado. I have Okada for the win. Takeshita and Okada 1v1. I think it's fun in itself. I just don't want Takeshita to just come on and take that L 1v1 against Okada right now and aging Okada. Okada has been putting up a really, really solid performance holding this title in terms of just being dominant. But honestly, if we can just come to the conclusion, I definitely want to. I can say it on the forefront that his reign has also been ass too. Ass. I don't see any way or any reasoning that his championship run was any more extravagant than what we've seen this past year and some change that he's held this title. It's been boring. It has been boring and it's been a snooze fest. Now, granted, he's beaten the likes of Swerve Strickland. He's beaten the likes of, I believe he beat Will Ospreay. So it's not like he's going in there just dominating bums. He's putting up a solid match, but come on now. We shouldn't have We shouldn't have Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. I can't necessarily say going out like that but at least sitting here taking L's against Kazuchika Okada and Okada being as dominant as he is. Who is going to stop this man? Who is literally going to stop this man? If it ain't the primary guys that are fighting for the World Heavyweight Champ, the AEW title now, that are in title contention now, who's going to be Okada, who has a secondary belt? I'm not trying to, put the belts in order, but let's be honest here. I do have Okada for the win. I don't see Okada losing this match at all. Not yet, at least. You do have the coffin match. Jon Moxley taking on Darby Allin. Darby Allin has to win this match. You can only hope Darby Allin wins this match. Darby Allin, of course, instead of going out and fighting for the title, he went over to Mount Everest and tried to pretty much live out his best life out there in Mount Everest. He did it and he did his thing. Huge shout out to him because he said he wanted to do it. He did it. He got it done. In really, really impressive fashion too. That's something I got to give a whole lot of credit for Darby Allin. But we built this up for so long. Darby Allin was supposed to be the AEW savior. I thought he was going to take the belt over Jon Moxley, and we were going to have a really, really awesome feud and an awesome reign from Darby Allin. That would have got me back into AEW. That would have threw me back into tip-top shape. No, we ain't get none of that. That man got kicked down the stairs. He went over to Mount Everest. He came back doing more daredevil stuff, and now we get to watch a coffin match between him and Jon Moxley. You better win this match, Darby Allin. You better win this match, Darby Allin. Because I really have nothing to say if Jon Moxley comes through and win this match and just completely craps all over Darby Allin's return and this return match that we're getting for Darby Allin. It's absolutely garbage. So that's pretty much my take in itself. I got Darby Allin for the win. Don't let Jon Moxley come through and win this match. Please don't let Jon Moxley come through and win this match. 4-way AEW Women's World Championship match. Toni Storm taking on Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Thekla. I mean, nobody's doing anything. And Justin made a great point with that. Nobody's doing anything. Jamie Hayter, there's nothing going on with her. People are still trying to hop back on the Jamie Hayter train, even though I love me some Jamie. Look, let me tell y'all something. I love me some Jamie. Jamie Hayter can do no wrong in my eyes. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I needed that one. I'm sorry. I needed to have that one. Y'all wasn't expecting that one. Yeah, y'all wasn't expecting that one, were y'all? But excuse me. But all seriousness, and respectfully to Jamie Hayter. But Jamie Hayter herself, she's a great talent, but they're not doing anything with her. Chris Statlander, she's been flip-flopping all over the place. Thekla, she's been going into this back and forth. And she's been weak. I mean, we might be seeing her a whole lot more Collision. More than anything. There's nobody here that's ready for a world champion, for an AEW World Championship run, because Tony Khan hasn't put them in position to show us that they're ready just yet. Jamie Hayter was champion. Chris Statlander had her shine 4 years ago. And you have Thekla that showed onto the fray, a dominant debut. And yet, nobody's ready for Toni Storm. That's my idea. That's my ideology. Nobody's ready for Toni Storm. I got Toni Storm taking the win here. Of course, you got AEW World Championship match as well. Hangman Page taking on Kyle Fletcher. If Kyle Fletcher wins this, look, I already talked about how I'm already, not really impressed with Hangman Page's reign here. Even though it just started, even though I can't remember what happened in his first reign in itself. Hell, we even ran through it in AEW in Circle of Debate. In his title defenses. We couldn't remember half of those title defenses with what Hangman Page was going on and what Hangman Page was doing there. I'm not trying to be a hater on Hangman Page, but damn it, man. Like, I hope you make something out of Kyle Fletcher here in this match. I hope you guys are just the magic, just put magic in the ring together. That's what I'm hoping for. Because if Hangman Page is right about one thing, yeah, Kyle Fletcher is a champion. I said this before, Kyle Fletcher is a champion, but he's just not ready. And I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't think putting the belt on Fletcher is going to be a great move. Whether I have a problem with Hangman Page or whether I think Hangman Page's title run has just been abysmal or not, I don't think Kyle Fletcher should come through and win this title off of Hangman Page. So I definitely got Hangman Page coming in for the win. And hopefully when Darby Allin comes through and beats Jon Moxley, hopefully he stands 10 toes and is like, hey, kind of want a title shot. It's just like, hey, what's happening here? Let me get back into this title picture. What's going on? That's just wishful thinking in my eyes. But moving on, of course, we do have predictions as well for WrestlePalooza. Look, me and Devin are making our way to WrestlePalooza. Even though Devin isn't here right now, I talked to him the other day. I was like, hey, Devin, you still going down? You still down to go to WrestlePalooza? He was like, yeah. So he said that, boom, bought the tickets immediately. Now, Devin, and I got to share this with you guys, Devin bought me and my sister. He bought us tickets to the Royal Rumble. And so I was like, Devin, you didn't have to do that. We're driving. I'll drive. I'll pay for food. Like, bro, you don't got to do nothing. Just sit there. You don't got to do nothing. Just sit there. And so, of course, we just had to flip it on his head, too, for WrestlePalooza. Devin ain't got to worry about paying the ticket. And then also vice versa, but not even vice versa. Devin's not driving. He don't even got to worry about driving. Devin going to be taken care of. Devin going to be good, my brother. Devin going to be good. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Driving home from work and seeing that you're on. Wanted to say what's up and hit that like button. Love you so much, my brother. Love you so much. Look, it was an off day. I do got to work at the radio station at 7 o'clock. So I was like, look, I got a little bit of time. Let me go over these predictions because AEW All Out. We got WrestlePalooza. Me and Devin going to be at WrestlePalooza. Me, Devin, of course, my older sister. We're going to take the drive out early in the morning. We're going to get there, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun, man. Now, granted, we not sitting on the floor. These aren't floor seats. These are floor seats. Me and Devin and my sister, we're going to do some climbing. We're going to do some climbing to get to our seats, honestly. But I don't care. I just wanted to be there. I just want to be there. Now, I didn't want to do that for SmackDown because Friday Night SmackDown, when AJ Lee came back, her return, that Friday Night SmackDown and WrestlePalooza tickets were the same price. I ain't finna do that. Same seating, same price. No, I'm finna pay that for a PLE. I'll pay to go to a PLE for that price. I ain't finna pay for a Friday Night SmackDown. Now, if it was a Friday Night SmackDown, there was a pay-per-view that was so far away and so on and so forth. Then yeah, okay, maybe I'll think about it. But nah. I'm going to I'm also going to World's End too. AEW just said that World's End is going to be in Chicago, Illinois. That's going to take place in December. I'm paying I'm buying tickets for that. Definitely buying tickets for that. I don't know if Devin wants to go because Devin has his hatred, his disdain for AEW. So we'll take a look at that. I'll see if Devin's going to be down to go to that. But we do have our predictions for WrestlePalooza, and then we're going to get into our tier list. I got to show y'all this tier list. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, well, this was a insanely tough tier list. I had a huge problem. You know, it's like, it wasn't nothing like that. Definitely wasn't nothing like that. Hello? Where'd my tier list go? See, here we go. Okay, but it's okay. I'm gonna get the tier list set up as well, and then we're gonna get started. After I get done with the predictions. But Io Sky taking on Stephanie McCare. Feed in the streets here. Look, Naomi. I love me some Naomi. I got zero problem with Naomi. But this match is fire, because I believe the last time they had this match, it ended in a disqualification. There is going to be no disqualification here. In terms of nobody's going to be running in. There's not going to be anybody here to ruin, the ending to this match here. Because there has to be one. There has to be a title holder. And I understand the narrative. Stephanie McCare, there's no need to rush it. There's no need to rush getting her putting the belt on her. But, damn it, I'm down. I got Stephanie McCare winning this match. I got Io Sky has held the title twice. And Io Sky not only has held the title twice, and maybe it could be 3 times, but it's just the fact that she came in clutch, when WWE needed her the most. Hey, you need to hold the title as a heel? You got it. You need to hold the title as a babyface? Io Sky got it. Io Sky can take the ball and roll and run with it. So you gotta give a whole lot of love to Io Sky. When she's put in position, she's putting in great work. So I was like, I got zero problem with that at all. I got a text from Mother. I know you were taking me, but will you be able to take me home? I'll be at... Oh, there it goes. My bad. I had to text moms. And of course, got my friend on the side, DJ Maestro. I heard you gonna be in my city. Of course, Maestro, the man around Indianapolis, DJs the Colts, DJs the Pacers, DJs. If you have any fandom in Indiana sports, I'm pretty sure Maestro is gonna be there DJing. Like that dude, he's a dog. Even though he has a big head, he's a dog. And not big head as in he has a big ego. No, he's legit. I'm telling you, Roblox. Every time he's not even Roblox, he has the Minecraft head. He has the Minecraft head. He looks like Steve. He looks like Steve, for those that don't know. Huge shout out to C Fluid. Have a safe drive and a great time. By the way, there's no bad seats at the Pacers Arena. And I mean, look, you know what? You're not wrong. I went to my first basketball game ever was to a Pacers game, and I wasn't high up, but we were decently high. But even then, we saw absolutely everything. Like, and it's an experience. Like Indiana Pacers games are an experience. We grow like Indiana grows basketball, and that's the passion and the love for basketball. You feel that in the Indiana Pacers arena, and you see, and no matter where you're sitting, I've only sat in like the corners for Pacers games. I'm always in the corner, so it's like I never got the chance to be like where we're at. We're pretty much in the middle, but we're high up. So granted, we will see everything. Like even though Royal Rumble tickets, we were high up, but we saw absolutely everything. Like it was from the entranceway, from people walking in, from people coming in from the back, like people making their way in. Sami Zayn, when he came through the quote unquote protect, Kevin, not even protect Kevin Owens. He was just like, man, Kevin Owens is going to die against Cody Rhodes. I got to get a front row seat. I got to get a front row seat to this. But excuse me, huge shout out to C Fluid. Appreciate you, brother. We are going to have the time of our lives. We're pretty much just going to run it back like how we did the Royal Rumble. Because we had too much fun over there. We had too much fun over there as well. But I got Stephanie McCare winning this one. I think Stephanie McCare, she could take the ball, she could run with it, and she could put on some really, really great matches. I got Stephanie McCare for the win. Now, I don't think putting the title back on Io Sky is going to be huge. I mean, it's going to be beneficial for what's taking place here, because then who's next? Who's next in the fray to take on Io Sky? Who's next to be on that caliber of holding the women's world title and running with it? Right now, I only see Stephanie McCare being the next woman up outside of Io Sky, of course. But you have the Rhea Ripleys, you have the Baileys, but they've had their time. I'm ready to see what Stephanie McCare could do. Because even if the first reign is awful, she's still young. She's still young, and we have a whole lot of time to see what she can do in the ring. So I don't mind it at all. You do have the Vision taking on the Usos. The Usos have came back together again. They spit an amazing promo on Monday Night Raw. You know, they brought me back to 2016, 2015. And Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, of course, set to face one of the most dangerous duos known as the Usos. However, even as unstoppable as I believe the Usos are, the Vision is just filled with too much manpower. The Vision has too much manpower to them. Yes, Jey Uso has beaten Braun Breaker before. You still have to worry about big Bronson Reed on top of that. The Vision is just on a roll right now. And I know I said they were giving me Death Rider vibes, but that was mainly because the ending of these Monday Night Raws and SmackDowns were just them beating the dog crap out of CM Punk and company, or LA Knight and company, or Jey Uso and company. And there's no resolution. We would just go back to next week and it'll be the same old thing. But now, no, we're seeing some fight. We're seeing some pushback, and that's what I love to see. I definitely got the Vision coming through and winning this match here for the Vision. But I don't have a problem with it at all. You know, I love Braun Breaker. I love me some Bronson Reed, and this is for the future. This is for the future. You know, and so the Usos, they can take this loss here, and I don't think it'll hurt them on one bit. I don't think it will hurt them one bit. I gotta fly because it looks like I'm gonna be a little busy, you know, because I do have to work at 7, but I have to fly somewhere at 5. But even going through here, AJ Lee and CM Punk taking on Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Look, if I'm gonna be honest with y'all, taking on Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker is insane. You know, it's just like, but I really have CM Punk and AJ Lee winning this match. I don't think AJ Lee is gonna be losing her title at all, and AJ Lee still, Jesus Christ, she look amazing. Woo, she looks so good. She looks so good. Oh my goodness. AJ Lee is so fire. She hasn't changed one bit, and I love it. I absolutely love it. She's crazy. She's psychotic. She still got the little head tilts. You know, she still got the little crazy in her. So I love it. I absolutely love it. I got CM Punk and AJ Lee for the win. You already know that this feud isn't over yet. She signed a multi-year deal. It's just a matter of time to see how this is going to go. Because if they win, she has a really good argument to win this IC World Championship. And I think that's perfect for her to win. I think that's great for AJ Lee to win. Win that IC title. I don't want Becky Lynch to beat you. I don't want Becky Lynch to beat you at all. I got CM Punk and AJ Lee for the win. I just don't see AJ Lee losing in her debut match. And of course, the main event. No, it's not the main event of the evening. It's the co-main event of the evening. Of course, you got Cody Rhodes taking on Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes, of course, riding high as champion. But Drew McIntyre is still the Scottish sociopath. Is the Scottish psychopath. Wow. You know, it's still the Scottish psychopath. He's still trying to dig his heels deep into the title picture. Even though a win against Cody would be great for Drew McIntyre, I don't see it happening. I don't even think Drew McIntyre takes a step back losing against Cody Rhodes. I just don't see him coming into the forefront, riding high on some momentum and just beating Cody Rhodes clean. I got Cody Rhodes for the win. I didn't mean to burp in your ear, but I got Cody Rhodes clean. Even though this will be entertaining, I do think this is going to be a whole lot of fun. I think Cody Rhodes is still going to hold on to his title. This leads us to the main event. Brock Lesnar taking on John Cena. John Cena coming into Indianapolis officially for his last time. And honestly, why would John Cena lose this? You know, it's just like, why would John Cena lose this? Why would he lose this? Like, brother, I can understand you putting over the likes of Cody Rhodes. You know, Cody Rhodes had to get the title back. I understand that. Brock Lesnar has been beating the brakes off of you for the past couple weeks. My brother. That man has been beating the brakes off of you for the past couple weeks. And you ain't doing nothing about it, John. You ain't doing nothing about it, Big Match John. What are you going to do? Now, I'm interested and intrigued to see what this match is going to do. My expectations for this match, insanely low. This isn't going to be Extreme Rules, 2012, 2013, whichever year it was. No, this is none of that. You know, we're not going to see John Cena getting beat to a bloody pulp. This isn't going to be SummerSlam 2015 or 20, whatever year that was, you know, where John Cena got absolutely squashed by Brock Lesnar. It's not none of that. It ain't none of that at all. You know, I think this is where John Cena puts on his big boy pants. He becomes Big Match John, and he gets the win over Big Brock Lesnar. And then I'm hoping for that because Brock Lesnar, you know, we've only seen him do a couple F5s and dip. You know, we haven't seen him see the brute force, you know, that we're used to him being. No elbows to the head, you know, no insane tackles and pretty much heavy blows in the mount position, you know, or full guard position, you know, in UFC terms, you know. So it's like I don't see Brock Lesnar coming in, and I do see him coming in and just beating the brakes off of John Cena the first 10 minutes. But then after that, of course, Big Match John is going to show his true colors, and we're going to go home happy because I do not want to go home and take a 2.5-hour drive after John Cena just got his ass beat by Brock Lesnar. And I seen that in person. And then I'm going to have to cry, John, no! Jonathan! Get up, Jonathan! We need you. That's gonna be me, man. That's gonna be me. Stop it. Hit me instead. It's just like, you don't do it to John. Like, but outside of that, I got John Cena for the win. I got John Cena for the win, 100%. All right. Let's see if I can remake this tier list here, which I can. Like, it shouldn't be no huge problem. I just had to add the pictures back because it looked like the pictures went away from me here. There we go. Add the 4 right there. Going down a little bit. Add 2 there. I'm sorry that you guys have to see this live, but hey, it slipped away from me. So this is what happens here. Live, ladies and gentlemen. Live. There we go. And 2 more. Boop. And 1 more for good luck. Of course. There we go. All right, let's get active. Let's get active. This is the tier list used for the spear. The spear tier list. This is what we have here. Now, I apologize. I told you guys this was made earlier. I had this. I believe D was for hot dog water. You know, I was like, you know, that's our hot dog water tier. You know, sorry, Peach. I didn't mean to kick you. You know, we have the C. It's just, you know, it's an F spear. You know, we have a B spear that's good. You know, it's good. Nothing too crazy. An A spear, of course, is a good spear. Then the S tier is just legendary. You have a legendary spear at your arsenal. And I limited it to WWE. Yeah, I cheated. I got some AEW guys, a couple AEW guys, but you were WWE guys first. So, but I strictly put it to WWE itself. You know, it's just in case there was any sort of confusion as well on top of that. Can I still type in it? Yeah, I can still type on it. Okay, cool. Goated. Let's call this one goated. We gonna have a goated tier list here. But we still gotta call this one hot dog water though. There's some spears there that are legit hot dog water. You deserve to be the bottom of the barrel. But everything else we can do in here. We can do not bad. We can do not bad. We can do okay. And good. There we go. Like I said, this was made much earlier. And I just instantly, as soon as I opened it up, everybody was gone. So who do we have here? Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Can you guys see that? Yeah, there we go. There it goes. Zoomed in for you guys. Of course, we have Dave Bautista. We have Bobby Lashley. You have Charlotte Flair, Rhino, Jey Uso, Edge, Christian, Caitlyn, Ricky Starks, Moose, the Big Show, Goldberg, and of course, Roman Reigns himself. And if I forgot somebody, please let me know. But man, I just had to take a look at Caitlyn one more time because Caitlyn just looks so fire. I love me some Caitlyn. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Caitlyn and AJ Lee, that rivalry, I'm telling you, I could go on and talk about them all day. But them themselves, legendary. Just beautiful individuals. But outside of my foolishness of just naming off the guys here, let's zoom back out because we got to get into this tier list here. So first off to start, Batista. Now, Batista's spear, I would put it more so in the okay category. I think putting it in not bad is a little disrespectful, but I think it's okay. You know, there were some instances like when he went on against the Big Show when he hit a spear on the Undertaker. I definitely thought that was insane in itself. You know, he's had a couple spears, that memorable spears you could put together there. So it's not like where I'm talking about Bobby Lashley, where I'm just like, oh my God, Bobby Lashley's spear sucks. I think Batista's spear was okay. I would put him in the okay category. I put his spear in the okay category. But then that leads us to Bobby Lashley. Hot dog water. I'm sorry. If you guys are hating on me for that, I'm sorry. If you guys are gonna hate me for where I'm putting the spear, Bobby Lashley spear per se, I'm sorry. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Because I just don't see Bobby Lashley's spear being the greatest or being good. You know, and then he says to the way. You have Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, there wasn't a lot of force in her spear just because, you know, she weighed sometimes less than the women she was spearing. So there wasn't a whole lot of impact with it. But man, when she would get it to connect and she would hit it on the likes of like an Alexa Bliss, you know, on talent that's a little bit smaller than her. Okay, it looked pretty nice. You know, it's something that you can't hate on. But I'm not gonna put it in okay. I think I'm gonna sit it at night. I think I'm just gonna sit it at not bad. I'm gonna put Charlotte Flair in the not bad category. This also leads us to Rhino. Goated. The gore, you don't even call it the spear. It's the gore itself. Like, Rhino is a dog when it came to that gore. He would kill people, and his gore didn't discriminate. Black, white, Asian, like men, woman, it didn't matter what you were, who you were, you were gonna get this gore. You were gonna eat a gore. It didn't even matter where you work, ECW, WWE, AEW, CMLL, wherever you was at. Isaiah's basement, you was gonna get a gore. You were gonna get a gore. And that was one thing I loved about Rhino. Rhino had so much speed to it. And of course, he was just a tree trunk. He was just so stocky, just a built individual. And so you gotta give a whole lot of love. Like people like you, it would be impossible to sit here and find one person just still in one piece after eating a gore. No, if you took a gore from Rhino, you were split in half. That's Rey Mysterio. Like, ask these guys. You take a spear like that, you're done. You take a spear like that, a gore like that, you're done. Rhino, which is an absolute dog, goated tier. But this brings us to Jey Uso. Jey Uso's spear. I think Jey Uso's spear is good just based off timing. Like when he's hit it on Braun Breaker, you know, when he's hit it on Roman Reigns, he's had some spears that were just impactful because of the moments when it did happen. When, when you see Braun Breaker, he picks up Jey Uso, does his little, you know, chugging emote, and then he runs rope to rope to rope, and then immediately just eats a spear from Jey Uso out of nowhere. Fun to watch. You know, Jey Uso has a spear that's unexpected, that comes out of nowhere. I'm going to put it in the okay category. Just based on the timing itself. Edge had a really good spear. Now, granted, the impact has kind of fell off after a while, and I think that was definitely due to the injured neck, the neck injury that he had. So I'm not going to necessarily bang on him too hard I think his spear is actually really good. I think his spear is really good. I'm not going to put it in goated, but I definitely think he has a really good spear. And that I'll put up there. Christian. Christian's spear is like, I think it resembles Jey Uso's. It's just the fact that, like, it's just no impact towards it. I couldn't say it's all about timing. Like, he had maybe 2 or 3 spears. His spear on Randy Orton, you know, that's just like ones that are just like, whoa, okay, you did some damage there. Like, it's fun to watch at that point in time. But when he does it reoccurringly, when it happens more often than not, it doesn't hold that same impact, at least in my opinion. I don't necessarily call it hot dog water, but I'll definitely say it's not bad. Not bad. Caitlyn. Now, y'all gonna hate me for this one. I know it's gonna be a huge problem. I know I already confessed my love to Caitlyn. Goated. She has a goated spear there. And I love TikTok. Because, I'm not going to say, I love TikTok because they agree with me, but that's exactly what it is. You know, I love TikTok because when we did the Caitlyn video and we talked about Caitlyn having an amazing spear, and I put her spear over Roman's. Yeah, and it's mainly because of the work she did with AJ Lee. AJ Lee was getting turned inside out with a spear from Caitlyn. something that I thought was just absolutely unreal in itself. Yeah, I'm putting the Caitlyn up there with the goated, but she's goated all around. Look, you can't be mad at Caitlyn. That's my last time doing that. I'm sorry. That's my last time doing that. But I love me some Caitlyn. I love me some Caitlyn, and I can't get over it. So I can't complain. I can't complain one bit. But outside of that, moving on. Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks. I might have to put him right next to Christian. Because it's not like Jey Uso is where it's not all about timing or anything like that. I thought he had a lethal spear in AEW. You know, kind of, I'm not really seeing too much of it in NXT and not really more so as hyped about it, you know, as I was before. Because, man, he used to fly up in the air, not necessarily like Braun Breaker like when Braun Breaker would fly out and hit the nonsense. But I definitely think he had a really, really top tier spear as well. And he always held his own too. Talking in terms of Ricky Starks and the spear that he had. You know, he's always been great in itself. And hey, look, I forgot somebody. I'm sorry that you guys got to see this. You guys shouldn't be able to see this, but I gotta take a look here because I forgot an important someone. And he's not, there it goes. Okay. I forgot an important someone, and he should be, where's he at? Long story short, I forgot to add Braun Breaker. But I see him right here. His picture is literally right here. Yeah, I see. It's not set properly. I was like, I'm not going to do a tier list and not talk about Braun Breaker. That's not happening. No, not at all. Let's add Braun Breaker to the party. Let's bring Braun Breaker. Let's get him involved. He'll be the last person we talk about. Because I don't want to disrespect the man like that too crazy as we continue on. But I'm putting Ricky Starks in the not bad territory. Not bad for sure. Moose, hot dog water. Moose is hot dog water. I'm not a fan of his spear. His spear kind of reminds me of a Bobby Lashley's, where, yeah, the nice cartwheel, the nice spin that you do, you know, tilt-a-whirl that you do is pretty cool at the end. But I feel like that kind of takes away from the impact. And, you know, it only takes like a cruiserweight or a smaller guy, maybe like a Sami Zayn, you know, to pretty much turn inside out, to hit us, flip themselves, for them to make it more effective. I'm just not a fan. Just not a fan at all. So Moose, Bobby Lashley, yeah, spears are hot dog water. Spears are hot dog water. The Big Show. I would put the Big Show in good. I say the Big Show had a good spear because he didn't really have to move too much. It was just as soon as you were coming his way, he just had to pretty much get into position to pretty much knock you off your ass. And man, it was 500 pounds. You know, a 500-pounder hitting you with a nice spear like that. It was more so like a spear / pounce, a spounce. You know, if we can put it in that term. I think I'm gonna put Big Show in the good because I won't necessarily say it was okay. I was actually really, really impressed with Big Show's spear. Goldberg, gotta put it in good. You gotta say Goldberg had a good spear. I'm a Goldberg hater. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Goldberg, but I'm not also gonna sit here and lie to you guys either. Goldberg had a really, really solid spear. He had a really good spear. Roman. Huh. Go up there with your cousin. Go over there with your cousin. I'm going to put Roman Spear in the okay territory, and that's because of the way he gears up here. Because, like, if we had to look at this, if you notice before Roman Reigns hits a spear, I'm sorry that you guys have to see this, but of course he does this hoo-wah. But if you can tell when Roman Reigns is going to miss or if it's going to get, you know, stopped in any way, shape, or form. Because when Roman Reigns hits his spear, hold up. See, I was giving y'all a lesson. I was gonna give y'all a history lesson on the spear, trying to give y'all some insider on the spear. But then, of course, I had the Gustavo come through Rhino with the gore. Hey, brother, Rhino with the gore, top tier. It's in the goated category. What's good, my brother? How's you living? Look, Gustavo, legendary human being, a great guy, and just an all-around, just amazing human being, man. Like, he's a guy that you want to meet, and a guy that you should have in your life just in general. And I'm not saying that to like just meet ride. I'm just saying that because I'm talking from experience. You know, just meeting the man, hooping with the guy, so on and so forth. Every time he shows up, I'm sorry, I gotta give the speech. I gotta give the Stavo speech. What's good, my brother? I hope you are living your best life. I love you, brother. Love you, brother. Rhino is Rhino's in the goated category because his spear is absolutely amazing. Roman is at the okay territory, and that's mainly because you can tell Roman's spear is about to get either reversed or deflected. As soon as he is about to gear up, he's in the corner before he does his yell. He takes a step back before he runs at you. It's not necessarily like a. I'm gonna just use my two piece sticks of gum here. It's not necessarily just a Roman Reigns is gonna run at you and it's just a straight spear. He goes to hoo-ah, then he backs up and goes. And take a look at it. Look at Roman Reigns' spears throughout the years. There's moments where if Roman Reigns does his yell and he just runs straight at you, boom, it's wraps. You're done for. If Roman Reigns, you already know it's going to get reversed as soon as he does his scream and then he backs up a little bit and then he goes. Yeah, I think you already got to tell there. You already sold yourself there. Ooh, on vacation in North Carolina, brother. God bless you and the family. Everything is all good. Izzy, you know you my guy. Hey, man, love you, brother. How is North California? I said North Carolina. I'm tweaking. North California. Dang, my man's living the dream. California love. Oh, man, I know you out there living the best life. What's out there in North Carolina? What's out there in North California? What is out there? Now, you don't got to tell me like the person, but just like what's out there? You know, what's for people that might want to slide out there and see something new? Because I was like, man, from the birthday's coming up. My birthday's gonna be in November 11th, so I was like, man, I might be making my way to New Orleans. I was like, New Orleans might be the go-to destination, you know, to tee up at. But North California, I don't know. California might be the way. I've only been to Venice Beach. You know, California. I've only been to the Burbank. I've only been to Burbank, California, and that was only for a business trip for 1 week. But it was a blessing. It was honestly a blessing. Roman. Oh, so before we put, let's throw Braun Breaker in there. Braun Breaker, goated. Like, and we're not gonna put Braun Breaker in the goated category. Like, there's something wrong with us. Braun Breaker has already shown us, like, reformed the way we see the spear itself. This man is floating in the air trying to spear people. This man has already moved the ring back and forth, just off of the speed of this man running the ropes and then hitting the spear. He has destroyed so many lives. Ask Carlito. You know, he's destroyed so many lives with this spear here. You got to show some love to Braun Breaker, which is why I was just like, we can't finish this tier list until we throw Braun Breaker here. So to end this all off, to cap this all off, let me see if I can take my camera off for a second. Let me see if I can take my, I got. Please let me know. Please let me know your thoughts and opinions because I need to know. I got to get involved. I'm in Yuba City at the moment. We moving around. Ooh, man, that's dope. He says it's beautiful up north. Family, brother, and straight countryman. It's peaceful. Ooh, that sounds beautiful. And I know that weather nice. I know it's sunshiny out. It's either sunshiny or it's probably mad raining out there. You know, it's like either one or the other there, it seems like. But look, I had to get that tier list out. I had to get that tier list going after we made the whole talk with Kaylin and the spear that she had, an amazing spear that she's done. And look, there's been so much going on and so much wrestling happening. It's hard to be bored. But when you have Tony Khan coming in here, giving you the same old stuff, when you have John Cena, there was a point in time John Cena was just giving us the same old stuff until he finally had to turn everything around. It was just like, you know what? I'm done being a heel. People are starting to die down on my heel nonsense. I think it's time to switch it up a little bit, especially since I'm about to retire. My time is almost up. You know, it's like it's time to turn some things around. So, man, I got to take a shower. I haven't showered all day. Like I said, I got to go to work. Got to go to work at 7 o'clock, but I also have to be somewhere at 5 o'clock as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. A couple of these clips are going to be on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. So be on the look for that. Going to have a whole lot of fun editing and going through that as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And of course, I will see you guys next time.